Okay, I've been beating my head against the wall for this for a while, so my pain is your reward. This is the DeWalt 7491 job site table saw. I've been trying to adjust this riving knife. It had a definite left skew, so when I was running boards down this side, they get pushed this way, so if I had the fence to the left, they get jammed in there. It wasn't great, it wasn't wonderful. Now, adjusting this thing, the manual isn't all that descriptive on how you do it. Down in here, there are essentially 5 screws you mess with. 2 very large ones that you can kind of see, and then 3 smaller ones. One to the left of that big circle thing in the middle, one down below, which you can see, and then one over here on the right that's kind of in shadow. So when I was working through this thing, I had my screw direction reversed. What I mean by that is, if you've got your riving knife set up and you want it to go this way, if you just want to move the whole thing left, I was thinking, oh, I will take the screws and make them looser to force the blade off. That's not what you do. You actually make them, nope, see, I've already done it. I've already screwed it up. I've reversed already. I was thinking you need to make them tighter to give the blade more room to move in. But what you actually do is make them looser to give this base plate more room to slide in. So how this breaks down is the 2 large screws down there are what actually attach it to the frame of the table saw. The 3 smaller screws are offsets. So if you screw them in, it means that they're going to push against the frame and not allow you to actually screw the entire mount as far in. So if you loosen the 3 adjustment screws, then this base plate here can get closer and closer and closer to the actual frame of the table saw. So if you want to move this thing to the left, you have to loosen the 3 spacer screws and then tighten the large screws to push this entire mounting thing onto the frame more closely. Similarly, if you want the whole thing to go right, you need to loosen the big screws so that this can move freely. Then you tighten the adjustment screws so that when you retighten the main mounting screws, the adjustment screws are pushing against the frame of the table saw, and this thing can't go as far left when you tighten down the main mounting screws. The only tricky bit to this whole thing is, if you want to do this kind of thing, basically that's what the bottom, the 3rd little adjustment screw is for, and it's the same thing. If you want to tilt the riving knife that direction, you have to tighten the adjustment screw so that on the bottom of this thing, there's a thing poking out so that when you push the whole thing against the board, against the frame, there's a little nub in there that forces the bottom out, and that tips the knife to the left. If you want to tip the knife more to the right, then you have to basically put the top 2 adjustment screws in, you tighten them, that gives you 2 little prongs up at the top, and then you loosen the bottom adjustment screw so that it's flush on the bottom of this mounting thing, and then when you tighten the whole thing against it, the 2 top screws are pokey, the bottom one isn't, and that lets you do that kind of thing with a riving knife. I still have no clue if that made any sense. All I know is that I didn't have a riving knife properly aligned. Now I do. That's what I went through to figure it out. If that helps you, wonderful. If not, I'm sorry and good luck.